dyan. Anay namin po eh.
Amazing new toilet time golf game that lets you practice your putting on the potty. Your potty putter comes with its own putting green made of the same.
Sleeping like a baby. You won't mind if I take a bite of his crispity, crunchity peanut.
I'm just floored by the fact that there's so few black artists featured on it. Why is that?
I think that we're trying to move in that direction. We want to play artists that seem to be doing music that fits into what we want to play for MTV. The company is thinking in terms of narrow casting.
That's evident.
Never saw her face. No, I'm a
The Bop is back.
He drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. He sings songs that remind him of the good times, he sings songs that remind him of the best times.
My fellow gamers, thank you for visiting my YouTube.com website to learn how to get good at Shrek, Fairy Tale, Freakdown, and 8% on the Game Boy Color. I will go through as many layers as possible to uncover the strats that I used to get them gold splits, just like how I like them gold onions. No. Before we really jump into it, smash that freaking like button, subscribe, and please, for the love of Fairy Godmother, ring the bell. Okay, let's spark on this bitch. Before we actually start the game up for you. Make sure you go to options on the main menu and select easy difficulty so you can want to set spooky out every once in a while. Next, go to passwords and enter any password that will grant you access to playing as Lord Farquaad. Unfortunately, you have to use this method every time you boot up a game, but trust me, my broskis, it does make the runs much easier. Once you quit the stage, select play game and pick Lord Farquaad as your character, for he is the most trapped OP at the game. The live play timer starts when you select him. Before we genuinely start off the splits on God No Cap, this video was sponsored by NordVPN. I'm just effing kidding, but legitimately though. We must understand the fundamentals of Farquaad's moveset. Press either left or right in the directional pad twice and then press the B button to ram your opponent. Easily the most blockers move you could use to chase that W. The other move that's required to beat your PB is to jump with either the R or B button, but I would recommend pressing the A button as it takes a few less frames to use up. That's all you got to use are those to move. Okay, for real. Let's go! First up, our first boxer is named after the Duran song. Whoa! Very super easy, okay? Ram him once, send a quick jab and then run him again. Well, that's such a slay moment. Only 8 more opponents from here. Seriously, that's all you got to know about the wolf split. Up next, we have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Jab him a couple of times till his health bar reaches at around this point. After that, round the wooden mannequin down to the ground. Man, you are doing such a good job today. Comment if you love Shrek and ignore if you love Shark Tale. Oh, I know. We have to go against the gingerbread man. This guy sucks so much. This to be a well-run killer to be at though. If you haven't noticed already, this game is buggy as heck. Not all characters are built the same. Therefore, some of the characters' invincibility frames don't really work properly because Prolific developed the game and TDK Media after published it. What I'm saying is, after you immediately jump over the pebble he throws at you, it's possible to ram Gingerbread once and then ram him again when he's supposed to be invincible. I can't give you any signals of when to ram him at the second time exactly, but it's just a matter of getting the feel for it, if you know what I mean. Otherwise, just ram him once and then once he isn't invincible. It's a lot easier to ram him that way as long as he doesn't keep running away from you, my goodness, Fairy Godmother. Okay, so now you have to beat me. Doesn't mean I'll go easy on you'll get wrecked. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You are never gonna keep me down, except if you just keep ramming me, I guess. Specifically if you ram me whilst I complete my super jumps because of boy my car hydraulic got wrong at 3 AM. But you just ram me while I finish my jumps. Man, that was such a Bowser from Super Mario 64 moment. Monsieur Red, classic Shrek character that should have appeared in more than one Shrek movie, I reckon. Wait until he jumps to you and then you guessed it. Ram him. And then do it again, T. If he punches you straight away, ram him again. Keep ramming him until he dies. I love Monsieur Head. I hope he comes back for Shrek 5. What's the time? It's time to slay that filthy dragon. I'm gonna be honest, Chief. I don't like going against this abomination. Where are boxes to? Like I don't get in my fellow gamers. The best strat I can give you that's really reliable is to run through the dragon instead of at the dragon. Throw her punch every once in a while and then ram her again. Also, I know it goes wrong, so please be patient with her and please be patient with yourself. You're over halfway there. You can do it, buddy. Wait, what the freak? You have to beat up my Y. I guess if you beat her up in her human form, she will stay as an ogre forever. Better out than in, I always say. Just keep ramming her when she's on the ground until she disintegrates off and love I happily ever after with our true love's kiss. The Undertaker, the Executioner, Thelonious. Okay, here's the thing, pal. There wasn't an actual wrestling ring platform at you like in the first Shrek movie. There was the ropes resembling the wrestling ring. Secondly, the way Thelonious just grabs you is super frustrating. What's the strat this time? It's not that different from beating up the dragon. Just run through Thelonious and give him a few more additional punches along the way and then hopefully he'd be dead and gone haunt you. The final fight. The moment you've been waiting for. Battling against yourself. Well, very existential. Such SWAT. What do you do to beat yourself up? Well, what have you been doing after all this time? Ramming. You just don't stop ramming and it disappoints me. Which is why for the parkour split, ram through him and then jump away through him. Repeat this method until he is abolished from this floating rock in space we call her. Okay, we can't stop the timer now. Well, congratulations, my guy. You have successfully learned how to speedrun Shrek a Fairy Tale Freakdown for the Game Boy Color. Who's my little pod champ? That's right, you're my little Poggy Woggy. I mean, you can emulate the game to speedrun it if you want, but personally, I like to use my GameCube with the Game Boy player attached to the GameCube along with the Shrek Game Boy Color cartridge to play Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games with the GameCube controller for easy convenience. Thank you so much for watching, gamers, and I will inevitably see you next on.
How are you not?
Aww, and they even pick your lemons for you.
Are you serious? Hey, Paco, you guys stealing my lemons?
Yes! Yeah! Okay.
That one right there.
And then there was like one that you do something.
Guys, is that they have really long.
What are you doing? I'm not gonna run away.
Hi, you doc. Can I get a new butt? My old one has a crack in it.
Everyone's butt has a crack in it, you idiot.
But when does he say zooming mom?
Some